Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, we can currently see that a lot of coins are still selling off. Bitcoin came even below 22K. As I said yesterday, there was still a wave 5 missing. There was still another wave down missing. Even though there was another wave count that suggested wave 5 was already finished. But in my primary expectation, there was still another leg down expected. That happened, and we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart in a second. What is interesting though, that while Bitcoin is really selling off, some of the altcoins have already stopped selling off. And that is really what is so interesting. And that is what I talk about in the individual altcoin videos. But really interesting, because this again proves that all the coins are moving in the same, not in the same wave. They're all moving in different waves. So that's really interesting. Especially ADA seems not to be willing to drop below that 45 or 44.5 cent level, which is so interesting. But let's take a look at Bitcoin, and you can see it here. Yeah, we talked about that leg down, that wave 5 still missing in the last video. I think we were still above it in the last video, and this is the wave 5 that happened. We are still here in the target area between 20 and 28.6K. And my view is that this wave 3 is now finished. So wave 3 in yellow is finished. And it bounced off around about $20,800. I missed that as a target, but it's actually a target that makes absolute sense, because if we take a look at the length of the wave 1 here in green, and we look at the length of wave 5, which oftentimes equals wave 1, then we come here to $20,900. So that would have been a perfect target for the wave 5 after wave 4 is complete. And this sort of, not proves, but gives us some evidence that this was a wave 5, because wave 5 often equals wave 1 in length. So that makes sense. And because of the length of the entire sell-off here, it makes sense to count that as a wave 3 in yellow, which means that we are now entering our favorite wave, which is wave 4. Everybody loves them because they are so long. Yeah, bear in mind, this year was a wave 4 as well. That took a month, but it was a higher level wave 4. So let's just hope we're not gonna get into another month-long wave 4, but it's something we need to prepare for, that we're now entering a wave 4. Bear in mind, they can also go quickly, but it is likely that this might now take a few days, given that tomorrow FOMC meeting announcement. So we might not see a lot today, but it's a very dynamic environment at the moment. So how high do we expect this wave 4 to go now? This is now the interesting question. What do we see? So if we take the Fib retracement levels and we take the length of the wave 3 and we look at the Fibonacci retracement levels, very interesting here is that wave 4 has already reached the minimum, okay? The absolute minimum is 22,478. Well, let me just make that a bit more accurate, because this is now really important, I think. Just that to the wicks, okay? And down here we want to get a bit closer as well. There is absolutely no wick down there, which is interesting. No, okay, so we haven't yet reached the minimum. The minimum would be at 22,593, but we are very close. So in such a weak market environment, we can see the wave 4 normally doesn't go that high. Here, this was a wave 4 as well, it didn't go high, okay? So it could be that with 22,600, we're already good, and it will then start to sell off. Ideal retracement would be 23,684. My view is we probably won't reach the 50% Fib retracement in this case, which is 24,566. The reason is that it is currently a very weak market environment. So unless that changes, I think we're only going to do the minimum or the ideal retracement here, the 38.2% Fib. And if we go to the 50%, we would go above the previous wave 4. And this oftentimes doesn't happen. So be prepared for 22,593 and 23,684. But I wouldn't rule out the 24,566. So this is sort of the wave 4 targets that we'd be waiting for. Afterwards, however, we would expect another wave 5 down. Now we can calculate, if we say, all right, that wave 4 might actually go to 23,684, then we can calculate And let me just put some lines in so we don't forget the targets in the next video. Then we can calculate the length of wave 5 in yellow. So we can calculate the length of the wave 5 in yellow. I can tell you that will go down quite a bit, because this would then be, based on this wave count, really the last wave down. Okay, so this would finish off, as per this wave count, the overall correction of Bitcoin, which is interesting. There is already a wave count that I made channel members aware yesterday on Telegram that would suggest that this here was the low. But, and this is so important, we don't just want to speculate and say, okay, we are now in the low. What is important to wait for confirmation? Confirmation will be obtained as soon as we go above. Well, this is not confirmed. It's all adding puzzle pieces together. It would be a move above the wave 1 here in yellow. That would be at 26,900 roughly. Plus, we want to see a 5-wave impulse to the downside and a corrective ABC to the, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside and an ABC to the downside. That then gives us confidence that the low could be in. Until then, it is all speculation, and at the moment we're just falling fast. But the chances now are better than ever that the low is in, but it's not yet my primary expectation. I don't have too much confidence in it as per all of this, and especially as the wave 1 equaled wave 5 here and so on. It's all adhering to target levels and expectations. It suggests that we are riding the correct wave count here, and that there will now be a wave 4 up, which we're already doing, and just touching the target already, the first target, just now, 597. And then we are going to go down in another wave 5. Maybe not before tomorrow, who knows. So target for that wave 5 in yellow. Let's take a look at that. That will be now interesting. Wave 1. And we add it to the high of the wave 4. And this now depends on where will the wave 4 end. Let's say we do here the 38.2% fib level at 23,650. Then 20,000 would be a target for the yellow wave 5. The first target, 20,000. Should we drop below that, 17,879, that would be the 1.618 fib extension. So these are sort of the two levels I'm looking out for, 20,000 and 17,879. So it remains interesting, yeah, and we're currently going up higher to the ideal retracement level of the wave 4. As soon as we see an impulsive move to the upside, I will certainly make you aware. Don't think you're going to catch the absolute lowest point. Yeah, this is nearly impossible. You can, but only with speculation. Yeah, because you don't know if this is the low when you come down here. You have to wait what price action does next to get the information. And as soon as we see the first impulse up, the first correction down, then we can cautiously say that the low might be in. At the moment, we don't see it yet. Okay, we don't see it yet. And we're not going to catch the lowest point unless we just buy and hope it will go up. But hope is maybe not advisable necessarily in the crypto markets. Well, if you do, then you need to be aware that it could still drop further. Nothing wrong with dollar cost averaging in, but then you need to be aware it could drop still further from here, because we haven't got yet the bullish confirmation. Okay, and also Bitcoin is currently moving above the 200-week moving average again. Here in red, that is a very important level at currently just above 22,000. Bitcoin did drop below it before, for example, in March 2020, but it didn't close a weekly candle below it. That is maybe another important information that you want to have. And yeah, so overall, Bitcoin, again, has fulfilled all my requirements, has fulfilled all my scenarios, is still in my yellow target area that I defined back in November. And I think we might just be waiting for that wave 4 to finish and that wave 5 down. We might just be observing the situation, or we might just be experiencing the situation that we're actually in the low. Yeah, and there might be one more low, but honestly, we're talking here about not much more to come. Yeah, this is my view at the moment. Okay, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.